He's training good. We had to give him some time off this summer. He was having trouble with the heat, and I ran him in the fine last time, which was a tougher race than I think the Classic is, just because he needed a race, and that race really helped him. He came out of it really well, and he's worked a couple times since, and he's not a big workhorse, but he's going fine. Well, obviously it's great when you've got a homebred. Just having a horse to run in the Classic's a lot of fun, and he's a nice horse.
All right, so there's trainer Katie Voss. She has the 3-1 morning line favorite in today's big feature, the Maryland Million Classic. That's race 11. Hello, glad you're with us. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First, alongside Keith Fustel, our odds maker, Acacia Courtney. I'm Stan Salter. What a show we have this morning. What a day we have. It's Maryland's Day at the Races, the Jim McKay Maryland Million. It was started back in 1986 by Jim McKay and Bill Boniface, and what a day it's grown into. This is Preakness is our big international day on the world stage, but Maryland is really Maryland's Day at the Races. The place will be packed today with a bunch of people coming out from the farms where all these horses were Maryland bred, Maryland sired. How you guys doing? Big day, right?
We're doing great and so happy to be here. And you're absolutely right, Stan. One thing that I love most about the Maryland Million is just the excitement, the pride that we see here on display, and getting to see all of these farms that make this great racing possible here in the state of Maryland highlighted, and lots of good fun stuff too. You might hear the Clubhouse Fest going on as well. Lots of good stuff for everybody this afternoon.
Yeah, have a little pep in your step today. Yeah. Dancing going on as you're going up to the windows, making the bets. No doubt about it. And just kind of, we're part of that resurgence right now. We're seeing it within our whole racing program here in Maryland. I think our racing is getting better and better, coming back to kind of maybe what we were. The facilities, all the work everybody has done here on the Stronach team. It's a special day, and to highlight this is going to be really, really nice for everybody that's in attendance, and it looks like the weather's going to cooperate with us this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice weather. Let's just talk about our top picks real quick in the Classic, and then we'll start with race 1 and go through the whole card. Your morning line favorite, Saratoga Bob, 3-1 with Edgar Prado aboard for Katie Voss. Prado tied with Ramon Dominguez with 17 lifetime Maryland Million wins. So if Prado wins, he'll be the all-time winningest Maryland Million jockey. I use Saratoga Bob in my exact. I'm going with the 10-1 long shot on top. My price play of the day, the 1 Crucelli, a 3-year-old son of outflanker for owner, breeder, and trainer Robert Vukovic. Taylor Hole, a very good come-from-behind rider. He's going to be coming late on Crucelli. I think this horse is going to like the 9-furlong test he gets for the first time today.
And sometimes that is going to be just the biggest question about the horses in here, is that they have to go that 9-furlong distance. And I ended up going with a horse who has raced a couple of times at this distance, though he doesn't have a win. But that is the number 3 Clubman. I think the stretch out again is going to be the key for him, getting around 2 turns. Speaking to trainer Jonathan Maldonado the other day at the draw, he expected him to be more forwardly placed, which really could be the right move considering the fact there's not an abundance of pace in this race. So I would like to see Clubman more forwardly placed. He ran in the Classic last year and ran a good 4th behind bonus points. I think this is a very evenly matched group. We even heard Katie Voss say that it kind of an anything can happen.
Oh yeah, I think 3-1. That's about the range the favorite's going to be. I don't see anybody below 2-1, 5-2 in this race. I go towards the outside with Admiral Blue here for Rudy Rodriguez. This is a horse that has actually won at 1 1/8. Was kind of rated out of its best run last time in New York. Comes out of some key races up there. I think we'll get a perfect flow just outside. Couldn't maybe attack and go to the lead, but I think this horse will sit relaxed just off of it to the outside of rivals. But you talk about it, you look on paper, not a lot of true speed. Sometimes we see the jockeys take these horses out of their game, which might set it up for a horse like Crucelli. We know he's going to sit back and make one run.
Yep. All right, so there's our picks for the big feature of the day, the Maryland Million Classic, race 11. Let's show you everything that's going on today here at Maryland's Day of the Races. We have 12 races showcasing Maryland's rich thoroughbred tradition. Early post time for the first race, 12 o'clock. Free admission today, free admission for the Jim McKay Maryland Million. So come on out here. You can go up to that new sports bar, the sports book up there. That looks phenomenal. Fun for the whole family, kids corral. The Maryland Million hat contest we have as well. That's always popular. We're giving away a snazzy-looking Maryland Million hat to the first 4,000 people that buy a program, and you're going to want to buy a program today. It's a real nice, glossy program with a bunch of good information in there. You buy a program, you get a free Maryland Million hat. You can't beat that. If you like the EDM music, we have the Clubhouse Festival here today. for Maryland Million. And you can get a nice seat in the Silks room for $10. You get a live program and a Maryland Million hat. But if you like the EDM music, the Clubhouse Festival, you can watch the races over there. You can bet over there. It's on the Clubhouse turn. Express Bet has a betting parlor over there with some experts. Steve Aoki, I don't know too much about EDM music, but my producer at CBS Sports Radio said this Steve Aoki guy, he's like the Seabiscuit of horse racing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, he is. He's very popular, so definitely something that you want to check out. I know he's played at other racetracks before, too, and been very popular there as well.
All right, so let's get right to it. We have some nice carryovers today. 3 carryovers. The Rainbow Pick 6, that will start in race 7. That's over 3,500. The late pick 5 carryover, that's over 3,000. That'll start in race 8. I have tickets for both those, and we'll start with a carryover in the first race, that rolling super high 5, a little over 1,100. So those are the carryovers.
Okay.
We are on the turf. Let's show you a picture of both main tracks here at Laurel Park. Yesterday the main track was fast and the turf was good. We had a little rain this morning. Keith, talk about the track conditions as we start today.
Yeah, we're going to go fast for the main track, good for the turf, adjust if needed. Yeah, we did get some rain in the area. I know it was kind of early morning. I'm a little bit north of here, but when I kind of heard that rain pattering on the roof, I said, okay, let me take a look at the radar. Yeah, Laurel was getting some. So how much it was going to affect and really change that turf course from yesterday, I don't know. Course was in good shape though yesterday, all in all. You saw some divots flying, but pretty fair. It seemed like nobody was really struggling over that turf course whatsoever.
All right, well, good stuff. Let's get right to it here. Race 1's going to kick off the action. We have that rolling super high 5 carry over a little over 1,100. The super high 5 has a low 15% takeout. We have it every race with 7 or more horses. So if they don't hit it here in race 1, keep your eye on that rolling super high 5. That can get pretty big sometimes throughout the card. Also race 1, we kick off our early pick 5. Both your pick 5s here at Laurel, your best bet with that industry low 12% takeout. Also, it's a mandatory payout on the early pick 5 starting in race 1. Let's take a look here at the opener. We're going 7 furlongs on the main track. It's a $50,000 Maryland Million. It's a starter handicap. This race for Maryland breds, Maryland sired horses here. The conditions are all over the place here. It's a $50,000 Maryland Million starter. Let's just go with that here.
That's the basic. Yeah.
For the girls, right? This is for the girls, for the ladies.
All right, here we go. Race number 2, hashtag selfie, my top pick for leading trainer Claudio Gonzalez. Carlos Carrasco will ride. Carlos Carrasco, he doesn't ride too often, but when he does, he rides for Claudio, and him and Claudio are a big 39% together with a positive ROI. Hashtag selfie, a big win 2 starts ago on the fast track at Parks. That was against open 12-5 claimers. That's a tough condition. Hashtag selfie, a 6-time winner here at Laurel Park.
Are you going to take some hashtag selfies today?
Yeah, we need to. We got to take some selfies.
We'll definitely do some selfies. But yeah,
right.
I agree with you. I think the speed is going to be key for this filly. One thing that I think is really important to note, it's pretty clear to me that she does not like a wet track. If you cross off those wet track races, she's been very good. The turf, probably not her preferred surface either. That being said, I'm with you, Keith. I went with the number 8, Truly Hot. First off the claim on the dirt with this kind of layoff for Mary Epler, 16% in the win column and about 48% of the time in the money. So she does a good job claiming horses. Yes, has to step off of that race at Timonium. It's been a while since she's won, but I think she's going to get a good race flow today.
Yeah, I do. There was a key scratch, though, here early. Unbridled Escape is going to scratch out of the opener, go in race 2 on the turf.
Right.
That takes, I think, the biggest speed threat away from the 12, No More Excuses, and the 2 hashtag selfie. I think No More Excuses now, first off the claim, is going to be awfully difficult on the front end. She's fought it out gamely, tooth and nail at 6 furlongs. She's going to get a relaxed trip, I think, this afternoon. I think she can get the distance. She's going to be awfully tough to beat. I'm going to hedge towards Truly Hot. I'm going to need the 2 hashtag selfie to get into the race a little bit sooner, and I think she's going to have to. She doesn't really have blazing speed, the 2, so I'm interested to see if she can come from a few lengths out of it and kind of wear down the likes of No More Excuses or my top selection, Truly Hot.
All right, so we like some similar horses there in the opener. Let's turn the page here. Race 2 kicks off. The early pick 4. We offer you 3 pick 4s this afternoon. Early pick 4 starting here in the second race. Another $60,000 Maryland Million starter handicap. We're going 1 1/8 miles on the turf here in race 2. Acacia, you like the early pick 4. You have a ticket. Let's check it out.
All right, nice and affordable ticket there for you, as I do have a single, and I think there's a couple of different places where you might be interested in singling throughout this sequence. And because I used just a few horses a little bit later on, I was able to spread in this first leg. Maybe Participate is just far and above the horse to beat. We need to see her repeat that performance next time out, though. So I ended up spreading. I'm hoping that maybe we get a bit of a price in this first race in here. The number 10 Cappuccine to the outside very much intrigues me. So I'm, again, hoping for a little bit of a price to get through that first leg of the pick 4. Then I'm just using 2 horses. Maybe Crab Cakes is where you want to single in race number 3. I backed myself up with Anna's Bandit, but certainly Crab Cakes is maybe your hunch play of the day, a horse that we've all really enjoyed following quite a bit. Then we have the Maryland Million Ladies in the 4th race. Again, maybe you want to single My Sister Sledge in there. I loved her last year at a price. She's not going to be a price this year at all. So I'm going to use a couple others, hoping that maybe we get some value. In the 5th race, that's going to be my single with Lewisfield. I just think that he's the class. He didn't really get to run as well as I would have liked last time out, but they took him off the pace. I don't think that's his preferred running style, and I do like him coming back in here in the sprint this afternoon, but a really nice way to kick off today's early pick 4.
You had a big long shot winner on Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup
I
Day,
did.
didn't you?
I did. I did.
12
Yes,
to 1
yes,
winner.
you did.
Valedictorian, I
That's
think
right.
is her name.
All right.
Yes.
Keep your eye on Acacia's
All right,
long
we'll
shots
try.
here today. Keith, you were on a roll yesterday. You gave
Yeah.
out a $400 middle pick 4
We've-
ticket. Not bad. Nice.
We've got to keep it going.
Keep it going. All right, let's take a look at the second race. We're on the Dahlia Turf Course here in race 2, rail at 52 feet. My top pick in this race, we're all on the 1 here. Participate for trainer Dorothy Wharton. Could be a real big day for the Wharton Barn and owner Wasabi Venture Stables. They have a bunch of horses in today. Rosario Montanez, their main go-to rider, is going to get a nice ground-saving trip on the front end on the 1 Participate, a 3-time winner on the Laurel grass.
And she does come out of a race that proved to be a key race. The buyer speed figures for the 2 next out winners were 77 and 50, so a little bit all over the place in there, but she beat Included Check, who's also in this race. That was first off the claim. Again, she's got to repeat that performance, but I think on paper she's the one to beat.
Yeah, Wasabi Venture Stables talking about a group that's put a lot of money into the
Yep.
Yeah,
game
it's great to
recently,
see.
getting a lot of people involved. This is what we need in thoroughbred racing, and we've got it here in Maryland. Participate. Talked to Connections last time. They claimed this horse back in July, early July, gave a little freshening. Thought the horse was doing great coming in the last race. Didn't disappoint whatsoever. She's handled the mile and eighth, actually won this race last year. Yeah, there's some token speed in here, but I think she's got a rating gear. The 1 and the 2 clearly look like the best horses in this race. They've knocked heads a couple times. Going to be tough to separate. I think Participate gets the jump on Include a Check.
All right, so we're all in the favorite here in race 2. Let's keep flying along here.
Okay.
Race 3, we're on the main track, 7 furlongs on the main track. This is one of our stake races. It's the first of the big Maryland Million stake races here in race 3. It's the Maryland Million Distaff handicap, 100,000 for filly mares 3 and up, 7 furlongs on the main track. We have a video spotlight of the favorite. We all have the 7 Crab Cakes on top. Here's her race last year in the Maryland Million Distaff 2017. She was second early on. She gets to the lead. Turn of her home here with Forest Boyce, and she goes on to win it. She beats My Magician in this race last year. She's going to have to go against My Magician once again today. Forest Boyce and Bernie Houghton, they've won 6 races together here with the 7 Crab Cakes, a 4-year-old daughter of Great Notion.
And she's just been so fun to watch, too. She's now 8 for 14 lifetime as 4-year-old filly. She came off of the layoff. She won right off the bench. They tried her in the turf in the Jamila 2 starts back, and even though that may not be her preferred surface, she ran a very big second that day and getting the win at Penn last time out. I mean, she's just so consistent, and that consistency, especially for a filly and in races like this, that I think sets her far and above everybody else.
Yeah, we looked at that race last year. Boom, 60 to 1. She rolls, took it to her, and ran awfully big at a price with Crab Cakes. Held on late over My Magician. I think she catches a My Magician, maybe not quite as good as what she was last year leading into this race. I think she's going to move forward, though, is the 4 My Magician. Looks like a major threat. But Crab Cakes, positionally, looks like she's got a major tactical advantage over this field, and I think she can get the 7 furlongs at a short price. CBGB intrigues me, the 2-horse. She's run against some killers up there in New Jersey, the likes of Liz's Cable Girl, who's beaten Jessica Krupnik, who was the match series winner, the sprinter. So I'm going to toss the last. Early trouble in the shine again. She's tactical tactical enough as well. I think she's going to get into this race early, and you might see a battle between these two around the turn. I think Crab Cakes will get the better of her, and then we'll have to hold off the closers like My Magician and Anna's Bandit.
All right, so a real nice distaff here in race 3. We're all on the favor. The 7 Crab Cakes, 3 to 5 morning line with Forrest Voice. Let's turn the page here. Race 4, the Maryland Million Ladies, $125,000 stake for filly mares 3 and up. We're going a mile and an eighth here on the Dahlia Turf Course rail at 52 feet here in race 4. We have a video spotlight. We're all on the 9 here. She won this race last year. The 9, My Sister's Ledge, 7 to 5 for trainer Mike Trombetta. It's a real nice homebred for the Banner family. 4-year-old daughter of Etch, the 3-time winner here at Laurel Park. Julian Pimentel will ride. Here's the win against 2 other than Allowance Company early July here at Laurel Park.
And this race was, I think, one of her best performances that we've seen from her. She got up just in the shadow of the wire, but a big performance from her. I love her going this distance. As I said, she was a price last year. She's not going to be a price this year because her secret is out. But she's another one that's been consistent. And even running a little bit shorter, like going 6th in the Jamila last 2 starts back, she ran a good race behind Crab Cakes and Rocky Policy. But I think getting back to the 9 furlongs, this is the right distance for her, getting that extra little bit of ground. She's going to be one that's going to be running late, but I think that she just has a world of talent, and Mike Trombetta's done a great job with her.
Yeah, she fooled me last time, even when that race was taken off the turf and went to the dirt, and she showed a lot more speed. She's as versatile as they come, and what a nice horse to own. This is the kind of filly you want to have in your barn. As you said, doesn't matter. 6 furlongs, mile and an eighth, back to 5. She knows when to start running and knows where the wire is. So I think she can get position. Biggest key for her is going to be the ground. She's never really been on a softer turf course. Everything has been done on the firm ground. But My Sister's Ledge, certainly don't want to beat. She's got the most legitimate kick in this field.
How about our jockey, Julian Pimentel, in a very tough jockey colony here with a lot of crafty veteran riders. Pimentel, 41% winners here at the fall meet. That's almost unheard of. We have a quick soundbite from Pimentel, who's on the favored in the Maryland Million Ladies race 4.
Last time the race came off the turf, so it was a short field. It was only 4-horse field, I believe, and she broke pretty sharp, and I just set off right off the speed, and when it was time, I asked her to go, and she responded very well, and she went really easy last time. We got in good position in the backside, and like I said, when it was time to go, she really finished up really well for me, and she went very easy, fairly easy. She is very versatile. She doesn't have to be on the lead or be way far back. It just depends how fast they're going, and she'll place herself really where she belongs. It's just, I've been here for so long. I've been here 11 years now, and it's always been a really good tradition around here. So it's always nice to see people come out and enjoy the day of the races.
Yeah, Pimentel, he's on the list here. Pimentel, he has 11. Julian Pimentel with 11. He's in the top 5 all-time winningest Maryland Million riders. He won 3 of those Maryland Million races on Ben's Cat. He's one of our best grass riders, so he's going to be awfully tough here on the favored My Sister's Ledge. I have the 4 in my exacta Love's Legend, 4-year-old filly by Not for Love. Not for Love, the leading stallion for Maryland Million winners. Horacio Caramano is one of our best turf riders as well. Rides the 4 Love's Legend. A good second 2 back for trainer Ted Mayer against Starter Allowance Company on a good turf course. She's run 2 good races this summer on a yielding and a good turf course right here at Laurel.
And she's one of these horses that she's kind of been knocking on the door. Her last several races have been in the money finishes, her last 5 in fact. So maybe she's going to have a little bit of a tougher time trying to win it. But if you're playing any sort of exactas or tries, I think this is a horse you should include.
Yeah, she's just going to fall into a really good trip. There's not a lot of speed in here. She doesn't necessarily need to lead. It's going to be the last 70 yards. Can she hold off a My Sister's Ledge through the stretch? I think she's certainly going to be around at the 8th pole. Looking at this field, I mean, maybe My Vixen goes, and that's about it when you're talking about true speed. So she's going to be around a long time.
I didn't use the 8. The 8 forgiving for the Hall of Famer Jonathan Shepard. Don't count Shepard out with a long shot on the turf. They put the blinkers on this 4-year-old filly by Redeemed. Yeah, I'm not knocking you for using the Hall of Famer there in your exacta.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's blinkers on. He's got almost over a $4.50 ROI. That's a good enough move. Was only beaten 5 in this race last year. I don't think the distance is going to be a concern at all. Wilson, not a bad little judge of pace. He can
Yep.
get this horse into position and finish. I like her, and I like the other Shepherd horse. If
I
you
do
like
too.
one, you got to use the other penitence. This is going to be first-time Lasix on the grass for her, and she finished just behind Forgiving in one of her turf tries. So, yeah, I think they're the two price users to use underneath.
All right, so a real nice group here. Maryland Million ladies for $125,000. We all have the favorite, the 9, My Sister's Ledge, on top for the Red Hot Trombetta and Julian Pimentel. Let's turn the page here. Race 5 is the Maryland Million Sprint for 100,000. 3-year-olds and upward, going 6 furlongs. This race kicks off the middle pick 4 right here in race 5. Keith, you like the middle pick 4. Let's check out your ticket, see how you played it.
Yeah, this horse here, Lewisfield, is probably going to be a free square. We're hoping everybody's going to use it as a free square, and even crab cakes. Now, if those two go down, boy, it's just blow up city when you really look at it. So we're going to go ahead and single the 2 in race 5. In the 6th race, spreading again 3, 5, 7, 8, 10 in the nursery. I think it's a wide open affair, as is race 7. This turf starter, a number of horses could win. 1, 2, 4, 9, 10. And the 8th, we're going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm probably going to go a little bit bigger ticket on my own, but to keep it effective here for 25, I'll use first time Claudio, Who Broke the Bank, and blinkers off angle visual for the 11 visual effect for Dale Capuano. Those two in race 8. Leg 4 of that middle pick 4. 25 bucks.
All right, Keith gave out almost a $400 middle pick 4 ticket yesterday. Let's keep it rolling today. Let's take a look at the heavy favorite here. Lewisfield's going to be a Godzilla in this group. Let's show you a video spotlight. We all have the favorite on top. Let's show you his win in the Polynesian Stakes. Now he won, but he got taken down in this race. That wasn't the horse's fault. He still ran a huge effort here in the Polynesian on a good track. He's a 4-time winner here at Laurel Park. A 4-year-old son, a great notion for Jeff Runkel and Jevion Toledo. He's going to be awfully tough today.
He's just a little running machine. I mean, it's really incredible how impressive he's been. Now, as I alluded to earlier, last time out in the De Francis, he was running against a top-quality horse in Switzerland. I think that he was taken out of his comfort zone coming from off the pace. He wants to go out to the front, and he should be able to do that today.
Yeah, I think he should. That was just a little unfortunate on August the 12th. Try to get him out to see Lakai, and then unfortunately a little bit of a bumping, and it just goes to show. He held form. He runs the same kind of number right back last time. Unfortunately, he was 6 and 7 wide against a group of killers. Lewisfield, yeah, I think he wants to be right on it. One more great time. I think the only chance he has is to go ahead and send. So maybe Lewisfield from just off the pace. We'll go ahead and inhale him. We've got a stat, though, for the 6. The 6 is going to be my price user. Great Bulls of Fire for Hammy Smith. No stranger on a Maryland Million Day to get a winner here. Hammy Smith, the past 2 years, 5 for 19. That's 26%, and 8 for 19 in the money. With dirt sprinters, 3rd off of a layoff. There's a good ROI of 353. That's the key here. 3rd off of a layoff. The blinkers are going to be added at going to the gate, from what I was told by the stores. You pick up Trevor McCarthy, an excuse in its last. I think he's the one that holds a little bit of value underneath in that exacta.
Yeah, Great Bulls of Fire. He's awfully good as a 2-year-old. Won the Maryland Million Nursery and the Juvenile Fraternity. See if Hammy Smith can get him back in good form. Real quick, we all like the 4. No More Talk. Ran a big race last out against Allowance Company here at Laurel, going a mile on the main track. Lacey Gaudette, she's rolling this fall. She had a winner yesterday. She's about 36, 38% winners right now.
And Tour de Force, very impressive winning yesterday for the Gaudette barn. I think the turn back in distance, I think this horse is going to be able to settle a little bit more sprinting.
Yeah, this horse overcame a slow start, some trouble at Timonium, made 2 moves in that race, a clear break. I don't think this horse has quite the speed of One More Great Time or Lewisfield, but certainly a factor from off the pace.
All right, so nice Maryland Million sprint there in race 5. Let's take a look here at the young horses in race 6. Two of my favorite races are the 2-year-old races here on Maryland Million Day. Race 6, the Maryland Million Nursery for 100,000 2-year-olds, all Maryland sired. We're going 6 furlongs on the main track here. We have a video spotlight to show you. Keith, you have this horse on top, the 3 Sky Magician. Let's show you his debut effort right here at Laurel Park back in mid-August.
Yeah, I thought this was very encouraging. Taken off the pace, 3 and 4 wide pretty much throughout as Grand River, Transom go at it on the front end. Even drops back a little bit past the 5/16. But once this horse shifts out to the outside, maybe the 4 or 5 path turning for home, he finishes in up nicely, levels off through the final 1/8 of a mile, only get beat a length and a quarter. The key, his next race, there was a little bit of a bias going on the 9th and the 14th of September, and it carried into the 15th early on. I think the instructions were not to let Grand River get away, and that might have been to his detriment. He just was pressing. This horse has a rating gear. He's going to need it from the inside. I know he's a maiden. I think he breaks the maiden today from off the pace.
He certainly could, and I think one thing that's really encouraging about him too is the work pattern since that last race. He's been working very well. A good 5 furlong work on October 8th. He's got to stretch out to the 6 furlongs for the first time, especially at a 2-year-old. 5 to 6 is a big step, so having those works underneath of him I think is encouraging. I like him in my exacta as well.
All right, so we're kind of all over the place here in the Maryland Million Nursery. Casey and I have the 5 on top. Scrap Cooper. You get Trevor McCarthy aboard this 2-year-old by Great Notion. Could be a real monster day for the stallion. Great Notion up there at Northview. Flash Phelps, he's got a bunch of live runners. Great Notion. We both have this horse on top. Or he runs on anything, it looks like. A nice win in the slop in his debut. He beat 2 horses that came back to win. Then he comes back on a yielding turf course in a big effort in the Laurel fraternity. Just gets beat a whisker. So it looks like he can run on anything. We both have him on top.
And I agree with you. And just to tack on your thought about Great Notion, I visited Northview Stallion Station last week, and obviously so much pride with how Great Notion has kind of taken over the mantle for Not for Love, who's been so impressive in the Maryland Million. So Scrap Copper, I agree, he can run on anything. I remember speaking to Hammy Smith before the futurity last time, and he didn't really love him on turf, and he ran such a huge race. So now he's back on the dirt. From a physical standpoint, I do think that he's going to appreciate getting back on the dirt.
All right, I like a couple bandbox horses in my top 3. The 11 Follow the Dog I use in my exacta. Pimentel aboard for Mariah Montoya, 2-year-old colt by bandbox. Showed speed in his debut. It comes out of the Boss race. A good second in his debut here at Laurel. Then got put up for the win against Passcode. Ran right there with Passcode. Passcode would come right back to win. Ran okay last out up there at Parks. That was the best buyer speed figure for this horse. That was probably a tough allowance race. He was 16-1. This spot probably an easier spot today than that allowance race at Parks. They put the blinkers on. I think he'll show speed from the outside. I think the 11 Follow the Dog gets a good trip in here.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly could. Blinkers on could make him be a little bit more forwardly placed from the outside, too.
You've got the 10 Hall Pass. The other hammy horse has improved since being gelded. Turns back in distance. Ran awfully well going longer. I don't know if he's quite got the speed of some of these other horses, but I think he's a factor from off the pace. And don't leave out this 7 as a bomb shot. You know, in these Maryland Million days, somebody usually pops in these younger races, the 2-year-old races at a big price. And he's not curly. Blinkers went on. Yeah, he was only a few lengths behind my top selection in debut. Called a sloppy track. That 3rd quarter was awfully strong. He had every right to get a little tired, but he gutted it out, got the win. This is second time Blinkers, a little turn back in distance. If things get hot and heavy, I expect him to make a strong run at a big price.
All right, one more real quick. The 8 Out of the Park. Rodney Jenkins been high on this 2-year-old all summer long. They liked him in debut. He showed speed. He was a little green. Now he's a first-time gelding. He's fresh. He's been working lights out. Victor rides him. Rodney trained bandbox, the sire who won the Grade 2 General George here. So I think we're going to see a much bigger effort today from the 8 Out of the Park. I was hoping to get a nice 10-1 price, but I think our man Richard Migliori gave the horse out as a day maker on XBTV.
So you might not get such a price now.
Right. All right, let's get a quick commercial break. A real nice field of juveniles there in race 6. When we come back, still 6 more races to show you. A bunch of Maryland Million Stakes still coming right up after this. Okay, welcome back here. We have some nice carryovers today. Race 7 is going to kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. Nice carryover today. There it is. A few bucks over $3,500 for the Pick 6. I have a ticket. Let's check it out, see how I played it. Here's my ticket on the back of the overnight. Here we go. I'm going to go 3 deep here in race 7 using the 1, 2, and the 10. That's a nice Maryland Million starter going along on the turf. Race 8, another starter, 7 furlongs to the main track. I like the 2, 4, 11 there. Then back to stakes action in race 9. That's the Maryland Million Lassie. I like the 2 favorites in there, the 2 My Star Potential, and the 9 Miss Philly Dilly. Then I key on my best bet of the day, the 11 in race 10, the Maryland Million Turf, the 7-year-old Flash Phelps trying to become the first horse ever to win this race for a third time. You get Victor Carrasco aboard for Rodney Jenkins. I'm going to key on Flash Phelps. I think the Classic's wide open. I go 4 deep there using Crucelli, Clubman. I like the 4 Flash McCall and the favorite Saratoga Bob, the 1 Crucelli, my top pick in the Classic. Then I'm 4 deep there in the finale with the 1, 2, 8, 10. So my pick 6 ticket cost $57.60. It starts in race 7. Let's take a look here at race 7. We're going 9 furlongs on the turf here in the 7th race. We're on the Dahlia turf course here in race 7, rail at 52 feet. I go with the 1 on the inside. Daniel Centeno will get a nice ground-saving trip on Zen's Land for trainer Jamie Ness. This horse going to be awfully tough. He was a real good second against Starter Lowndes Company, 2 back right here at Laurel.
Well, one of the things that I had biggest question about was that this barn was 0 for 14 coming into today, and then they had a nice win yesterday at a bit of a price as well. So that's certainly out the window, but I like this horse getting back to the turf as well. I just took a stab at the 2 No Knock Raid.
Yes.
I'm hoping that this horse can control the pace in here under Edgar Prado, gets comfortable on the front end, and just runs away from the field.
Yeah, I think it's going to be his race to lose on the front end. There's nobody with really his kind of speed, and he held pretty well after being collared midway through the race last out. So he's a factor a long, long way. He didn't run too bad on the yielding turf. Well, Zen's Line, he's just a hard knocking horse. He tries every time you send him out on the turf course. I know we're a little short on time. I like the 9 as a price shot. Coming in from a 0% trainer, Michael Moore, he's a little sneaky, can come up with a price horse every now and then. Not a bad figure back in April of 76 by our closing ground when caught wide. If we can kind of just drop in a little bit, a steady progression. Vargas is the right kind of rider that can kind of carry a horse like this home. I don't let this horse slip away at 8 or 10 to 1.
And I know that it looks like, just a $10,000 claimer on the turf, but those 10,000 claimers at Gulfstream on the turf are absolute wars in big fields.
Yep.
All right, so nice big field here in race 7 to kick off the pick 6. Let's take a look at race 8. Now, race 8, we kick off the late pick 5. Nice carryover today in that late pick 5, a little shy of 3,100. There it is with that industry low 12% takeout. I have a pick 5 ticket as well, and I didn't try to get cute at all. I'm going to try to hit my picks twice, all right? I'm using the same exact picks as I used on my pick 6 ticket, but you can play the pick 5. It's a little cheaper. That's a $48 ticket for you there in the pick 5. So if I can get live in race 7, and then I'm going to try to hit both the pick 6 and the pick 5 today. So there's my ticket. You can study all of our tickets some more on the laurelpark.com website underneath the handicapping section. Let's take a look at race 8 real quick. $50,000 starter, 7 furlongs on the main track. My top pick here, the 4 Gambling for trainer Mark Salvaggio. Andrew Wolfson, another great notion here. This horse has won 4 in a row. He's going to be awfully tough here as one of your favorites in race 8.
It's a big ask for any horse to make it 5 in a row. So that's my biggest question with this one. However, absolutely no knock to get any of his recent races. It's also his first time out of pen, so he's got to be able to prove all of that. That being said, I have so much respect for him and what they've done with this horse. I went with the 5, Hello, It's Me, with Vargas, coming out of a key race, 3 next out winners. The second place finisher came back with an 82 buyer speed figure next time out. First off the claim, so we'll see how this one does, but I just think coming out of a very good race.
Gambling coming out of shorter fields at Penn National. It's his track. He loves it up there. You got to have heart. The horse he beat last time out is a key horse. He's run well at Pimlico in starters. Actually beat a horse perfect cover. We saw it like 60 to 1. Just get run down in a big race here. So Gambling a factor a long way on the front, but has to face a bigger, gaudier field. See if he can handle that. I like the 2. We've got first time Claudio on Who Broke the Bank. He shows a mid-70 number on the page. First time Claudio, it's good enough. He improves off of that. He'll be right there. Very tactical with Kevin Gomez in the 11. Visual Effect. I think the race could fall right into his lap. Enough speed in here. Turning back, that mile race 3 back was strong. Thought he was home free at the 8th pole. Just couldn't hold off Rare Eagle, who was in top form at the time. The blinkers go off. Positive angle for Dale Cap. A Visual Effect makes a circling run to get it done.
Yeah, you get Daniel Centeno, very strong on these big days. He always comes up with 1 or 2 stake wins on these big days, so you get Centeno there on the 11. All right, let's turn the page back to stakes action here in race 9. We kick off the final late pick 4 of the day here in race 9. It's the Maryland Million Lassie $100,000 stake for 2-year-old fillies, all Maryland sired. We're going 6 furlongs on the main track here. Video spotlight to show you on the morning line favor, the 2 My Star Potential. 2-1 for Claudio Gonzalez. Here's the debut win at the Big T, September 2nd. Maiden special weight, was in front, turnover home. Has to win a fight over Pink Notion, but a nice win this day. And this win gave Claudio the confidence to go up the Parks against First Level Allowance Company up there. Didn't break the best up there in her last race, but overcame that. A good second at 17-1. Just got beat a nose. A strong 65 Beyer speed figure. That puts the 2 My Star Potential right there against this group. A 2-year-old filly by Tri-Tap. I think Claudio's going to have a big day. He's 24% recently with his 2-year-olds.
But she very well could be the one to beat. And I think, Keith, I think it was you that brought this up recently about how Claudio has just been doing so well as of late with his 2-year-olds, which maybe was not such an angle that was so good for him before.
Correct. That's the truth. It's been kind of maybe the last year and a half, 2 years that suddenly he's kind of dipping a little bit deeper, going for some 2-year-olds, and he's been able to adjust and get these horses ready to go. It's not an easy thing. A lot of time you're straight up claiming trainers, going back to a 2-year-old, whole different ball game. So they've done well. My Star Potential comes out of a good race, a key race. Group Tex is a horse trained by Service. It was right behind Congrats Gal, who was a killer for Lynch. So Key's up against the right kind, has enough positional speed in here. I like the 3 a little bit. Was I going to use a little Miss Raylin? A little bit in there underneath. But yeah, the 9, Miss Philadelphia, that's the one I wanted to talk to as well. She comes out of a race against NJ's Brass and went back, dug a little deeper. Just got beat at Keeneland. And then I think the 4th out of that maiden that last race try, the 4th place finisher came back to win with a big number here. Keying up against the right kind is the 9, Miss Philly Dilly.
I think you have to use her. 2 good races so far. She's been impressive. I went with a price in here. This is my price play of the day. They certainly have had high hopes for this filly by Super 99. He actually has 2 in here, this stallion, kind of an interesting stallion who's had some of adversity along the way. But I think getting back to the dirt is going to be key. She didn't like the turf in the Salima last time out. My Star Potential's been good in her 2 races, but she's had trouble consistently kind of getting out of the gate and getting into the race and having to rush up a little bit. We'll see if little Miss Raylin, she's going to be a big price, and that's what I like about her. So I'm taking a shot in the dark here with the 2-year-olds.
Yeah, and you mentioned a sire, Super 99, a young up-and-coming pulpit sire, stands up there at Country Life Farm. This is his freshman crop running this year, and the 2-year-olds look like they have a lot of speed. So Acacia with a long shot there in the Maryland Million Lassie. It's wide open in these 2-year-old races. Let's turn the page here. One of the co-features of the day, race 10, the Maryland Million Turf, $125,000 stake for 3 and up. We're going a mile on the all-along turf course, all Maryland sired horses, some of the best Maryland turf horses around here in race 10. And the 7-year-old Flash Phelps trying to win this race for a record 3rd time. Now, with this win, he'll also join some elite company of horses that have won 3 million races overall, like the Hall of Famer Safely Kept, Ben's Cat, 8-2 Fast to Catch. Flash Phelps looking to join some elite company. Let's show you his last win on Maryland Million Day. This was back in 2016 for Flash Phelps in the Maryland Million Turf. There he is, about 3rd, turnover home with Victor Carrasco, and he just wears them down. He gets in a dogfight. Don't look Flash Phelps in the eye. He's going to give you a big fight. He's my best bet of the day. Lightly raced since this win here in 2016. He won the Mr. Divs, his only start in 2017. He was 1 for 1 last year, and then lightly raced this year as a 7-year-old. He came back off the long layoff this year in April in a very tough edition of the Henry S. Clark. He was 3rd that day with a 90 Beyer. Look who beat him, Caribou Club, who would come back to win. Dr. Mounty, who just won the Grade 3 BWI Turf Cup here for McGahee a couple weeks ago. So that was a real tough race in the Henry Clark. And then Ronnie just kept them going, keep them race fit. He ran a good 3rd on the main track early August, and then Ronnie wanted to get a race into him late September in the fine. He ran okay that day. Sonny Inspired, John Jones, Belfour, they're all monsters on the main track. But Flash gets back to his preferred surface today. I'm not worried about the outside post because he has enough early tactical speed to put Victor in a good early stalking position. I don't think Victor's going to try to clear all the way. No. I think he'll be sitting 2nd, 3rd, or 4th on the outside. He has all the confidence in the world in this horse. I think both Rodney and Victor say, hey, look, we have the best horse. Let's just stay outside, stay out of trouble. The outside might be the best part of the turf course. I like that we all have the champion Flash Phelps on top.
I mean, yeah, look, you said it all, Stan. This horse has been so cool. And yes, he's lightly raced, but I do think that he's got a lot of class. It'll be very exciting to see him win this for the 3rd time.
I'm not really concerned about the draw. He's the best, the most proven here. Likes the distance. And you saw in that video, I know it's going back a couple of years, he has a mind settling outside of horses and going ahead and wearing them down. And in his last 2 dirt races, he's not terribly off form either comparatively when you go back to his other tries on the dirt. Yeah, talk show man, we've got to talk about him a little bit. What a story. He's kind of overcome a lot of adversity. The 8-year-old came back off of a lengthy layoff to run a good closing 4th, only beaten 3 lengths in the Laurel Dash. He's banged heads with Flash Phelps in the past, almost got to him. Was it in this? No, it was in the Mr. Diz. That's right. I think this horse just needs to get a little closer. He's got to be within range by the 3/16 pole if he's going to wear him down. If it does, we could have a heck of a horse race. These two are the best, most proven in the field. They could just emerge in their own little match race to the wire.
Both Flash and Talk Show Man by Great Notion. What a sire he's becoming. We have a quick soundbite here from trainer Rodney Jenkins, who's in the show jumping Hall of Fame. He's one of our top trainers here in Maryland. Here's what Rodney says about his 7-year-old Flash Phelps.
Flash is in good shape. I mean, he's had a couple races this year. You know, last year he had a problem, and but he's had the races he needs. He's fit enough. He's sound. The rest is left up to him. Well, it means a lot to all of us, I'm sure, and mainly just for him. I'd be real proud. Ms. Charles, that's one of her favorites also, and we'd be proud. Anybody would be.
And certainly they'll be proud of their champion, Ellen Charles of Hillwood Stable. She does a lot for this game. She's a big sponsor of the Thoroughbred Horse Show we have at Pimlico, so it would mean an awfully lot for this horse to win. He's one of the most popular horses running today.
Even Victor Carrasco saying this is his favorite horse, and it's easy to see why.
We have we won't show it now. We'll show it for the time. We'll show it later on this afternoon, a soundbite from Victor Carrasco. Let's turn the page here. 3 minutes to go. We're right on time. The big feature, race 11, the $150,000 Maryland Classic for 3 and up, going 1 1/8 on the main track. All 10 of these horses are Maryland sired horses. That's what the Maryland Million program is for, to promote and showcase the Maryland Stallions. Them big New York trainers want to get into the Maryland Million. They can breed the Maryland Stallions, and then they'll be live for $150,000 against restricted company. But the Maryland breds, they're out. Maryland sired horses are in. We have a video spotlight of the morning line favored 3-1 here on Saratoga Bob. Here's his win late last June here at Laurel Park. This was a nice win against Open A Other Than Allowance Company with the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado. Prado back aboard today for trainer Katie Voss.
And this horse, he's worthy of favoritism, I think. And even hearing from Katie Voss, she said it's a pretty evenly matched field. There's plenty of options in here. We've touched on this earlier, that there's not an abundance of speed. So Saratoga Bob perhaps going to sit a very good trip in here.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little closer. It's the last 1/8 of a mile that's going to be the biggest thing for him. To me, he looks a little bit like a one-run sprinter. I really like him at 7, maybe even the 1-turn mile. Let's see how he handles the 2 turns at 1 1/8. My top selection is going to be, we talked about Admiral Blue, the 9 coming in for Rudy Rodriguez. I think he's ready to just jump back up and run in one of his top races. He's got an 87 over this racetrack. I don't know if he's going to get quite close to that. I don't think he needs to get quite close to that to win this. Maybe a lower 80. Rated back a little bit last time, softened up the run against that slower pace. Admiral Blue sits a great trip from just off of it this afternoon.
I might have goofed. I didn't use him. I was a little concerned about the layoff he's coming off of. But how about the owner, Leon Bluesowitz? I just hope Blue's here today, right? One of the all-time greatest.
Yeah. Great character.
Great.
Make our Maryland Million Day. How about my long shot here, Crucelli? He's going to be coming late. You know exactly what Taylor Hull's going to do. And Taylor's won this race twice on Admiral's War Chest, a speed horse. But he's going to take right back on this horse and just save some for a late rally down the stretch.
And he's stretching out in distance, but he did break his maiden going 1 1/16. So he's won going a distance of ground before. That was at Laurel back in March. And he's run some solid races in his last couple of starts, so we'll see how he handles the distance.
He doesn't look like he's really got any quit in him. I think, like we talked about early in the show, we touched on, will some of these riders be a little bit more aggressive in the opening quarter of a mile, and that could set it up for a horse like Crucelli or even Flash McCall for Trumbetta and McCarthy, third back off of a layoff. No stranger to this race. Had some trouble in it last year.
All right, so a real nice edition this year of the Maryland Million Classic. 1 more minute to go here. Let's show you our picks for race 12. Hopefully you're live and all your will pays going into race 12. 5.5 furlongs here in the 12th. Maiden claiming 40,000 for filly and mares 3 and up. Race 12. We're on the the all-along turf
All along.
course here in race 12. My top pick on the outside, the favorite, Dendrobia, for Timmy Keefe and Forest Boys.
Has had eight tries so far, but a lot of those races unfortunately have been taken off of the turf, so getting back to the grass in here today. I like the 2 Baltimore Babe, maybe a little bit of a hunch play in here, getting back on the turf as well. I think that the blinkers on is going to help this one too, with Victor Crosco staying up.
Yeah, they're both out of that race on June the 30th against Natural Notion, behind Natural Notion. Who's come back to run well against better horses, against the winners. But I take a shot with the 1A Awesome Jazz, the Mare Jazzy idea. How good was she on the grass? That's good enough for me to take a shot at, I think, a square price, maybe in that 5 to 1, 9 to 2 range.
All right, that's it. We're out of time. We like some same horses there in race 12. Fun doing the show with
Good
you.
stuff.
We have
As
a big
always.
afternoon coming up. First race post time is 12 o'clock. The EDM concert will start rolling at 12 o'clock as well. We're going to have a big crowd out here today. Check out the new sports bar in that sports book, second floor of the clubhouse. One of the nicest new area of any racetrack in the country, probably our sports book right here at Laurel Park. Get up on the second floor and check it out.
All right, sounds like a great day. Good luck and have fun today, everybody.
You got
All
it.
right,
Good
good
luck.
luck.